Hi, I'm Stephanie Barba Mendoza, and this is how I live with style. We are in Northwest London, and I live here with my family, my husband, and my two sons, who are 10 and 7. We moved to this house 9 years ago. It was a white shell. Throughout the years, we've been renovating it. So for this kitchen, we wanted to extend it. Nowadays, we don't really use a separate dining room. We wanted to have it all within the kitchen, a little bit more relaxed. This is how we like to have dinner parties, have friends over. So for the handles, I had them made. I found something that was quite similar, but it was a towel holder, and I wanted to have a star. I've always been a bit obsessed with body parts and stars and slightly surrealist motifs. There's quite a lot of hands around, but somehow it works. This lemon lamp, I quite like the fact that it's obvious lemons in a kitchen. There's a bit of humor into it and it's a little bit silly. I have a lot of plates and different pots that maybe are the shape of a fruit or a vegetable, and then you have it mixed with real fruits and vegetables. I like the silliness, not taking it too seriously. This is a dining space within the kitchen. It was very important to have indoor-outdoor living, and that's why I chose this wallpaper that is all leaves on the walls and the ceiling. Often ceilings are forgotten, and if you think about it, ceilings are a big surface just as much as the floors or the walls, so they should also have an important element and not be forgotten. For the dining space, we chose banquettes. It was very comfortable to sit down. Sometimes my kids even lie down. Underneath the banquette, we have drawers where we keep all the art supplies and the crafts. I'm originally from Mexico. I was born and bred there in a place called Michoacan, which is west of Mexico City on the Pacific coast. And of course, I love tequila and mezcal. I have a few bottles down here, many mezcals from different parts of Mexico. It's a little bit like champagne. You can only make it in Champagne in France to be called champagne. So tequila is the same thing. You can only make it in a place called Tequila, Jalisco. And I have quite a few special bottles here. For example, this one, friends of mine gave it to me when my son Santiago was born. I wanted to have open shelves on this side because on the other side is full of cabinets. If we had in both areas cabinets, it would have been very heavy and a little bit overwhelming perhaps. So for here I wanted to have everything on display. I added a strip light to the top, which gives a really soft ambient light at nighttime. I thought maybe it's gonna get a bit dusty, but I put only the things that I'm constantly using. And I mean, these plates are the plates we use every day, bowls. We grab everything from here, so it doesn't stay there long enough to gather dust. Last May, we went to Japan for the first time, and I have to say that I'm obsessed with Japan and anything Japanese. And we bought a few things like this teapot. This is a little bit less traditional and more modern, I suppose, with a light clay. Another thing we got in Japan was these magnets, which is like a gyoza. Our family are obsessed with gyoza, so this is a big symbol here. They're just little magnets, and we saw how they make it, and it's almost like making food, and they paint it, and you know how everything is perfection. It's so good. This prawn, you could nearly bite it off. I love to collect things as I go to places and they catch my attention. This one I brought from Mexico. It was a handbag. It had a little thing to hang it off your shoulder, and I cut it off and I just use it for eggs. The tiles we have are zodiacs, are star signs of the whole family. My husband is the main cook in the house, so we've got Cancer over there. Both of my boys are Capricorn, and here is one. And there's another one over here. And Pisces, myself, is somewhere over there. I don't know much about star signs, but I like the symbolism. This is one of the things I like doing, creating little moments where maybe they're not so obvious, but when you start looking, you'll find them and surprise you. In one of my trips, I found this extra virgin. This is where we keep our olive oil for cooking. I think it's quite funny too. My husband is Austrian. However, he's learned to cook Mexican food really well. So we do eat a lot of Mexican, and every time we're in Mexico, he's very curious and wants to learn. So I'm very lucky. Here we are next to the living room. I think it kind of bleeds into the living room, but this is where we have our desk and sometimes work from home. I don't know what to call it. Maybe it's a study, but it's kind of part of the living room. This painting above the desk is of Selamse, which is the area where my husband grew up in. We found it together when we were just friends in a market in Austria, a little bit broken. I gave him cash to pay for it because he didn't have any cash. I think it was like 50 euros or something like that. And my now mother-in-law got it fixed and framed. Little did we know that it will be in our house, hanging there. So it has a lot of memories and quite a sweet story of our relationship. This fireplace was a white painted wooden fireplace. I wanted to change it but keep the original features of the house and not completely replace it. A good way to do this was to have it painted. And I got inspired by a Gucci dress, I think it was 2008. And I wanted to paint all the checkers and the leaves. I didn't paint it myself because I'm not that talented, but I got a finisher's company to come and paint it. It's a specialist company. When we moved into the house, we painted this room blue. It was a lovely color, but it felt very cold. So when we did the kitchen extension, I decided to change the color to a color that transitions much better from day to night. And I have to say, like, this kind of a tangerine color makes it feel very warm in the daytime, but also at nighttime when it's moody and you have the lights on. So this table was found by my husband, which if you ever come here, he will tell you about it. I sent him a few different tables I was looking at that were made out of brass and glass, and the concept was really, the direction was there, but he found it, and it looks like in the style of my logo, and it actually ended up a really great piece because when we had small hits, there's no sharp corners, so no dangers of anyone injuring themselves. Another thing I have quite a lot of around the house are shells. We have this pendant here, which is an oyster. It's the shape of an oyster, and it's from an artist in New York called William Sullivan, which makes these beautiful pieces. If you look at it from below, you can see all the little creases and the intricacies of what you would find on a real shell, which is something that I love. I have other little shells knocking about, like this one. I'm also wearing a shell. You can see a scallop. I think it is a scallop. Then on a recent trip, I found this in Vietnam, which is like an ashtray, and it has these little brass details to put your cigarette, and it's very cute. I want to quickly show you this bathroom, which is my kids' bathroom, and I wanted to go for something quite retro. This sanitary ware is from the Water Monopoly, and they do it in colors. I chose this light yellow because I like the pairing with the light blue, and the Salish tiles have a slight purple hint to it. The finish is unlacquered brass, so what it means is that it will tarnish and patinate with time. It's gonna get darker, but I like the natural tarnishing on the sanitary ware fixtures. This is my bedroom at the top of the house. We are in the eaves, which means I get a lot of light from all the windows. And also when it's quite hot, we can open all the windows and we have quite good air circulation. So it's quite nice to be at the top. I also feel like there is a bit more privacy when we have guests or when the kids are around. I sort of come upstairs and this is my quiet moment. I like a light bedroom. I can do colors in the rest of the house, but a bedroom for me has to be quite light and peaceful. But white is not something that I will gravitate towards. So choosing a very soft hue of a pink just makes it very warm and inviting, and at night also it lights up beautifully. I also found this tapestry which adds a little bit of depth and texture, and I always think that tapestries add a bit of gravitas to any room. Thank you so much for looking around the house with me. Don't forget to subscribe to the Times Life and Style YouTube channel. Nos vemos!